You know, oftentimes in life we can talk about mentors, and you are the average of the top 5 people you hang around most, right? Those kind of truisms that get thrown out there. What do you do if all you have in your life are sometimes toxic people or shitty people? I want to argue today that you can learn perhaps even more from those people than you can the positive people. Haven't you had a job that you absolutely hated? I did. I was a golf caddy. It was one of the worst jobs I had. I had to carry these big, heavy 50-pound clubs for these rich dudes who smoked cigars, drank beer, and wouldn't tip. I was a 13-year-old kid, so that was the only thing available to me. I think I got paid $20 to carry these heavy clubs for like 5 hours. That's a round of golf. The weather was nice though, so can't complain. So when I was a caddy, I would always eavesdrop in on the conversations they were having. And it was some of the most depressing, unhappy, like rich people problems ever. Talking about cars, talking about achievement, talking about women, talking about Ferraris. And I guess what I learned from that all is they served as an anti-role model for me. I learned so many things that I didn't want to do from that experience that added to what I'm doing now. For that, when I had money one day, those conversations that I spent hours and hours and hours in listening to, I didn't want to be like that. And so they served as a huge anti-role model for me. And I think that's a very, very key point there, is that like sometimes in life we have role models, we have mentors, right? And we aspire to be like them. In your life, you know, for me, you know, I have Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar or some like great motivational speakers or like businessmen or musicians that I look up to, and I want to emulate them, I want to be like them. But then in life you have people who you don't want to be like at all, and those serve as anti-role and things that you don't want to do. We got to be very careful. We got to ask ourselves, is this the pot of gold that I'm chasing after? Whether it's you had a teacher you didn't want to be like, you had a boss you didn't want to be like, you had someone who you didn't get along with, you got a gut feeling that you didn't want to be like, really look into that and try and learn the lessons from that and do the opposite. Anti-role models are one of the best ways we can learn. This analogies always work well when it goes into the relationship zone, but apply the anti-model to relationships. Okay, so you dated people in the past. What didn't you like about them? Now you know what to look for in other people. What traits are red flags? Because how many times do you know a friend, or maybe you, or you know, I have friends who get in dysfunctional relationships and then they get out of it after 6 months. It's like a whirlwind and they're like, oh, never doing that again. And what happens in 3 months? They're with like an identical clone of the woman they were just with. It's dysfunctional again, but this time it's going to be totally different, right? So we get attracted to these patterns, and if we don't recognize them, they can lead you down wrong paths. You know, I was thinking about this too with the power of negative incentives. And this is very true, backed up by psychology, psychological principles, is that we are hardwired to avoid pain more than seeking pleasure. In other words, you and I will work much harder not to gain something, but not to lose something. So most people are way more risk adverse than they are, what would the opposite of that be? Risk gain oriented? Whatever. People that aren't risk adverse, we call them gambling addicts, right? They're betting it all on black. But why don't most people bet it on black? Because they know if they put 50 grand on black and have a 50-50 chance of winning, that's still a 50% chance they're gonna lose. In fact, when you up that to 60 or 70%, how much would it have to get to before you are willing to bet your house on the line? Before you're willing to bet your life savings on the line? Just that thought experiment alone makes your heart sink a few inches when you realize that, you know, even though you had an 80% chance of doubling everything, there's still a 20% chance you could end up with nothing. No thank you, I'll pass. And so I think applying that to anti-role models in life, our brains are almost hardwired to see negative experiences a lot, and it's easier to point those out. So you can use those to learn something from them. So I guess my key takeaway point to you is it's not a negative thing to use a negative experience for a positive outcome. It's not a negative thing to dwell on past experiences that didn't go well, because then you learn something and you can apply it towards future experiences where it can be better. My recommendation to you, and what I'm trying to do more of, is really look into anti-role models and really read into when something doesn't feel right, why? Or when someone doesn't feel right to us, why? Or when we don't like the way people are treating others, why? Identifying that in your mind and applying it in your life to get better results. All right guys, that's it. Just a little spitball rant. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll be posting more later this week. I think we got a few lined up. My course, Video Breakthrough Academy, right over there. You can see where I'm at with it. I got 2 out of like 6 of the boxes checked out, but these are the 2 hardest ones. I just gotta film it, edit it, upload it, post it, promote it. All right, I still got a lot to do. It's getting there. That'll be April 27th. Hold me to that. That's my accountability announcement there. Subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notification next to it so you never miss an upload. And then Refusing to Settle Mastermind group we have on Facebook. That's a great place to be to connect with other people on there as well. Yeah, do this in your journal. It's a very powerful exercise, anti-role models, and I hope that was helpful. Until next time, guys, stop settling, start living. See you later.